My name's Angie Carter, and I'm here today with the Women Food and Agriculture Network. I'm also a proud member of Iowa CCI and a member of the Iowa State University Sustainable Ag Student Association. And I'm here to talk today about what it means to be a good neighbor, because as Andrea said, the landowners who are here are worried about their land, but they're also worried about what's going to be happening downstream, because we know what happens upstream impacts all of you. So we're worried about what this means for our neighbors. We know already that Energy Transfer Partners is already a bad neighbor. And as a fifth generation Iowan, I know a little bit about neighboring, and I know a little bit about our values in Iowa. And I know that Energy Transfer Partners, or any oil company that comes to our state and tries to get us to agree that this is necessary or convenient, is a bad neighbor. Because already the oil companies have been bad neighbors to those communities, as Irv mentioned, around the Bakken oil fields and other places in our country where their pipelines have leaked and spilled, and where they've brought escalated violence to the landscape and increased pressure to those communities. They have been bad neighbors to the shrimp farmers, whose livelihood has depended for generations upon the harvesting from the Gulf and is now jeopardized after the BP spill. They have been bad neighbors whenever their oil, their radioactive waste, and their saltwater spill. They are bad neighbors when the risks associated with the oil extraction has led to North Dakota having the highest rate of worker deaths in the United States. They are bad neighbors when Indigenous women are trafficked to and disappear in their oil field boomtowns. They are bad neighbors when their pipelines spill and pollute water and contaminate soil up to 30 feet deep. They are bad neighbors when farmers find oil spills the size of 7 football fields bubbling up from the ground, as one North Dakota farmer did during his wheat harvest last fall. And those of you who've gone to these ETP IUB meetings, you've heard that they're going to survey the land by air to try to see if there are leaks and spills. Obviously, that doesn't work. They are bad neighbors because they make their profit from exploiting land and people, even as we know that our oil economy is accelerating climate change and putting our livelihoods and our futures at risk. This proposed pipeline would cut across 18 of our counties, but it impacts all of our major watersheds, endangering public health and our land for our entire state. Our state lacks the needed legislation that would hold the company financially accountable for full damages. They may claim that they will be good neighbors and they'll be financially responsible, but if we don't even have laws on our books to hold them responsible, we're just trusting an oil company, which history is full of examples of why that is a bad idea. Already before it's even built, the pipeline has burdened Iowans. Many of you are here today rather than spending pre-holiday time with your family, doing things with your kids today, putting up Christmas lights or whatever, because you're concerned about this pipeline. Some of you have even already hired legal counsel, and you're doing this because there's a pipeline proposed across our state. You wouldn't be spending your time this way if they hadn't proposed this project. Proponents of the pipeline call it progress, but they're not good neighbors either. We know better. We know that progress looks like something much different than an oil pipeline. The transfer of toxic crude oil poses serious risk to us and comes at too great a cost. This pipeline is not necessary nor convenient. It's only convenient and necessary for the oil company, and that's their problem, right? If they need to move their oil, they'll have to find another way. If they are worried about their profits, they should have chosen to, and their shareholders should have invested in something other than an oil company, because we know that's not our future. There's one answer here, and that's all of us to say no to this pipeline, to call upon our county supervisors, our state legislators, and the governor. Let them know what we think about this pipeline. We don't want this oil transported through Iowa. But further, we can't remain silent and just say it has to stop here at our borders. We need to step up, as Andrea has said, because this is a climate justice issue. It's a national and it's a global issue. We can't continue to put our future at risk. So I've been encouraged by hearing about how some of the tar sand oil companies have been pressured by all of this negative Keystone attention, and they've decided not to renew their leases in the Alberta tar sands. That's encouraging. That shows how public pressure put on these companies can make them pull out and stop. And it would be an amazing thing if we could get that to happen and we could be part of that movement here. Thank you.